Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing CHING number 86. This one might be a little longer than some of my other ones. I packed a lot of CHINGs in this CHING, so let's just get started. The first thing that we have was this really cute vintage made in Austria Christmas tree brooch. This thing was absolutely beautiful. I can't remember if I picked this up at a yard sale or if I won it at an auction on a tray of jewelry. But regardless, I'm sure I didn't pay much for it, and that sold for $69.99, so that was a good one. Another good one was this perfume. This is a perfume. It was called Blue and was by the brand Soft Surroundings. I found this at a yard sale. I'm pretty sure I paid about $2 for it. Definitely a harder one to find. This one was used and it still sold for $99.99. Next we have this really cute ceramic piece. If you watch all of my CHINGs, you saw one of these in another CHING. I actually had two of them. These were by a company called Arnott Cherez, or Chertez, I believe it was, and they were called Love and Bloom figures. It was a man and a lady, and this one here sold for $18.50. That did come from an auction. Next item also came from an auction. I paid about $1 for this. This was a vintage set from 1998, Avon hairbrushes. So this was for a set of 3. It was 3 different brushes. I think one is a comb, and they came in like a little reusable travel pack. That sold for $49.99, and I do believe I still have one more of those. The next 3 items did go to a subscriber named Jackie. I was joking in like my last CHING video that I need to give Jackie her own CHING video, and this CHING is no exception. There's a lot of stuff that Jackie purchased. She has really good taste, guys. So the first 3 items were 3 Estee Lauder lipsticks. The first one was in the shade Peach Sorbet. That sold for $21.99. The next Estee Lauder lipstick was in the shade Pink Champagne, and that one sold for $28.99. And the last one was in the shade Rose Tea, which sold for $12.99. These all came from an estate sale. They were all new, and I paid $1 a piece for them. So you see how each one was, you know, a different price. So with any kind of especially discontinued lipstick shades, no matter what brand, you know, some shades can be worth more than others. Next item we have was a pair of Joan Rivers sunglasses. These were in a really pretty teal color. They came from an auction, and the teal ones sold for $29.99. I also sold a pair of pink Joan Rivers sunglasses. Also came from the auction. It was during the same auction. And these ones actually sold higher because of the color. So again, depending on color, shades, that type of thing, it just is in all different forms, not just lipsticks, but here we have sunglasses in different colors that are worth different amounts. The pink ones sold for $45.99. Next we have a torrid blue dress. I purchased this, I believe, at a thrift store, and that sold for $25.99. You guys know I like picking up torrid. This next item was a Jack LaLanne power juicer. I'm trying to remember where this came from. I feel like it came from a yard sale, but it might have come from an auction. And that sold for $99.99. Juicers can definitely sell well if you come across them. You know, the more I think about it, the more I think I picked that up at Goodwill. It was a while back though, so it's harder for me to remember sometimes. Next we have this was a Dickies work shirt for the swing band Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. This sold for $39.99, and again, I'm not sure if this came from a thrift store or a yard sale. Next item did go to a subscriber named Rose. This was for a pair of Cole Haan blue suede boots. I did win these at an auction. I'm pretty sure I paid $1 for them, and those sold for $35.99. I sold a pair of Trifari spade shaped earrings. They sold for $7.99, and they came from a jewelry tray that I won at an auction. This one was a really cool one. Eric and I found these pieces of luggage. These are vintage from the 60s. They were called Starflight, and this one here was this really awesome green color in like brand new condition. I feel like at the time when we purchased these, I think I paid $5 for this luggage piece. I couldn't find it anywhere. And yeah, it was just so awesome looking. I mean, look at it. It's just beautiful. Anyway, it sold for $139.99, and the kicker is I have one more I still need to list. It's actually more of like a reddish color though, instead of this green color. So I need to get that listed. Next we have a PS2 game. This was called BMX XXX. This actually came with a poster, which I think bumped up the price a little bit more because it still had its poster inside. I won this at an auction. It was on like a tray with some other video games, and that sold for $23.99. Next is another jewelry piece that would have come with, you know, those Trifari earrings on that jewelry tray I was talking about at the auction. This is from a brand called 1928. This was a little brooch. I swear I've seen Elaine wear the same brooch in a Seinfeld episode. Anyway, that sold for $9.99. I sold a Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. This wasn't a full size. This was like a deluxe sample size, brand new. It actually smelled like chocolate. I have a couple Too Faced items that have fragrance to it. Oh, I love it. Anyway, that sold for $6.99 right here in front of me. I use this like every day. This is the Too Faced Gingerbread Spice eyeshadow palette, and it smells like gingerbread. It's amazing. Anyway, next we have another, this is by that same brand, 1928. It was a pair of porcelain rose earrings, again from that same auction jewelry lot, and those ones sold for $12.99. So people are definitely on the lookout for that brand. If you come across it, it's not selling like for amazing amounts of money, but if you come across it at a yard sale for like a quarter or something, I would definitely pick it up. Next we have an Avon perfume in the fragrance Fire Me Up. This came from an auction. I probably paid about $1 for it, and that sold for $25.99. This next item was for a set of 6. These were by Mr. Christmas. Absolutely adorable porcelain Easter themed plates. It was a set of 6. It was 2 of each print that was on it. They had such a cute, fun, like vintage type print. I got these at a yard sale. I feel like I paid either $4 or $5 for the set, and those sold for $48.99. We sold a set of fly fishing lures. Eric won these at an auction, and those sold for $49.99. This one was honestly a little bit of a surprise to me. I won this, it was like a glass bowl filled with, it was 28 of these like vintage look sequin, or beaded, I should say, beaded Easter eggs, you know, that someone like handcrafted themselves type of thing. So I won this at an auction, again for $1, and I listed it on auction, and it sold for $91. So that was a great sale. I wasn't really expecting it. I thought they were beautiful though, and like beautifully made, and apparently other people thought so too, because they sold really well. Next we have, this is an older Bath & Body Works item, a lotion in the scent Green Clover and Aloe. That sold for $19.99. That would have came from a yard sale, and I probably paid about 50 cents for it. I sold this really cute glass, like crimped ruffled edge of Fenton blue pitcher. That sold for $19.99. That did come from an auction. It came on a tray of some other glass pieces that I had won. I think I have a pink one. I don't know if that one sold or if it's still listed, but I had like a matching pink one as well. I sold a Lysol No Touch soap dispenser. This also came with an aloe soap. That sold for $35.99, and that came from an auction. Probably spent about $1 on it. Next was a vintage. This was by a company called iRice. It was made in Japan, and it was a little cat. I'm pretty sure it was like a lipstick holder, but obviously you could use it as a vase type of thing. That sold for $17.99, and I do think that came from a yard sale. So $1 or less for that. I sold an April Showers perfume in the scent Persian Lilac. This came from a tray of perfumes I won at an auction. That sold for $15.99. I sold a Gap lotion in the scent Alm. You saw in another CHING I had sold a perfume in that fragrance, so this was just a smaller lotion that sold for $18.99. And when I purchased that, it was in like a little gift set. So the perfume was in there, there was a lotion, and there was also a soap in that fragrance, and I do have the soap currently listed. Next, we have a vintage Star Wars kids t-shirt. I purchased this at a church yard sale. Pretty sure it was 25 cents, and that sold for $19.99. I sold a lot of 2 vintage from 1985 Kissy Fur VHS tapes. These were brand new, still sealed. I got these at a fill-a-bag rummage sale, and those sold as the lot of 2 for $39.99. Next was a German wooden smoker. This one was a beekeeper. Eric and I found this at an estate sale. I feel like we paid maybe about $5 for it, and it sold for $49.99. The next 3 items went to a subscriber named Sandra. The first item was a vintage glass powder vanity jar. I had won like a tray of like vanity jars at an auction, and some of them have sold. I think I might still have a couple of them left. This one sold for $19.99. She also purchased a clear party light fairy lamp for $19.99, and that I think did come from a yard sale. I think I paid maybe $1 for that one. And then the last fairy lamp, again, another clear glass, but this one was really big. It measured 10 inches tall. Biggest one I think I've ever seen before. I do think I paid maybe $4 or $5 for that one, and it sold for $25.99. Next, we have a set of 2 cobalt blue Anchor Hawking salt and pepper shakers. These sold for $12.99, and I feel like they probably were in an auction box lot. I sold a Franklin Mint Sea Otter figurine. This came from an auction, and that sold for $12.99. I probably paid about $1 for it. I don't typically pick up those like figural ceramic pieces, but I decided to take a chance on it, and it did sell. Next, we have a Lenox Peace Dove ornament that sold for $9.99. This either came from a box lot at an auction, or I might have picked it up at a yard sale for $0.25 or 50 cents. Next, we have a vintage Boy Scouts shirt for Camp Tuckahoe. I found this at a fill-a-bag rummage sale, and that sold for $19.99. I think I do still have one more listed This one I think was for a green one, and I still believe I have a gray one as well. This next item was for a vintage Bath & Body Works set. These were all in the fragrance Plumeria. It was in this really cute basket, brand new, everything's still sealed. There was like body spray in there, shower gel, bubble bath, you name it, it was in there. This did sit for a while, but it did eventually sell. I think I got this at a yard sale. I say I spent maybe $5 for it, and it sold for $49.99. I sold a beautiful, oh my god, this was so beautiful, Limoges chocolate pot set. So it came with the chocolate pot, and it came with some cups and saucers as well. I won this at an auction, and I don't remember what I paid for it, but I know it wasn't much. I want to say maybe $25 tops, and that sold for $158. So that was a great sale. Next we have, this is from 1985. It is a wooden mail holder. So it was this laying down cat. It was by a brand called Arlene, and it had slots in it so you could like separate and organize your mail. I forget where I picked this up. It might have been a yard sale. That sold for $19.99. I sold a Barbie Princess of England Barbie. This was still sealed in its box. Won this at an auction. I say spent maybe $5 on it, and that sold for $39.99. Next item was a Garcia Mitchell fishing reel. Won this, I believe, this either came from an auction or a yard sale. I can't remember. Again, I apologize, guys. Sometimes, you know, one, I should say, like, my cha-chings are still really behind. Like, these are older cha-chings. They are not recent. Every time I do a cha-ching video, I'm trying to get caught up, but I sell a lot, which is not a bad problem to have, but, you know, I don't want to make 3-hour-long videos for cha-chings. So this fishing reel sold for $49.99. Next, we have another Bath & Body Works lotion. This one was in the fragrance Exotic Coconut. That one sold for $26.99. That came from a yard sale, and I probably paid $1 or less for it. I sold a vintage Dunkin' Donuts neon tumbler. I got this at Goodwill a long time ago, and it surprised me that this took so long to sell, because there's so many people, like, obviously people collect Starbucks cups and tumblers and stuff like that, but I know there's just as many like Dunkin' fanatics out there that, you know, that there is Starbucks fanatics. So I was surprised it took so long to sell, but that did sell for $16.99, and I probably paid about 99 cents for it. Next we have a pair of vintage men's Hanover shoes loafers. Pretty sure these came from a yard sale, and they sold for $18.99. They did take a while to sell. Next we have a vintage Alpine ski vest. Oh goodness, where did this come from, Michelle? I think it came from either a yard sale or a fill-a-bag rummage sale. That sold for $28.99. I sold a red Christmas bow shaped brooch for $9.99. That might have came from the same tray as that other jewelry I had shown earlier. Next we have an Avon lipstick in the shade Rose Gold. I actually put this one up on auction because there were none listed, and this shade again was, you know, a harder to find shade, and it sold for $18.55. Next we have a Gucci Bloom perfume. I'm pretty sure this did go to a subscriber named Adrian. This sold for $39.99, and I'm pretty sure that came from a yard sale. Next we have this was an older porcelain Kewpie style doll. This did come from an auction. That sold for $22.99, and I'd say I paid maybe $1 or $2 for that. I sold a Doodle bear from 1995, just a little plush. That sold for $15.99, and again, that probably came from a yard sale. 25 cents or 50 cents. I sold an Avon perfume in the scent Mesmerize for $14.99, and that was probably $1. Next item was for a Bratz enamel pin and postcard. This came on a tray of just some random toys that I won at an auction, and that sold for $19.99. Okay, so we're getting into where I feel like Jackie needs her own CHING video. The next, oh my gosh, the next lot, it's a lot of stuff, all went to Jackie. So we are going to go down the list of everything that she purchased. First thing was a Fossil purse that sold for $27.99. I feel like that might have come from a thrift store or a yard sale. Next item was a vintage, this was made of brass. It was a trinket dish that said pocket change. This came on a tray, like a box lot auction tray that sold for $14.99. She purchased a Barbie Dreamtopia mermaid doll that sold for $19.99. I actually have quite a few of these. There are more listed. I purchased this on Walmart secret clearance. I haven't done any kind of Walmart clearance shopping in a really long time. They changed the app and everything, and they just made it a lot harder to do than what it used to be. So I kind of stopped doing it, but I do miss it. She also purchased a Sharif butterfly purse. This was absolutely beautiful. It was brand new. I got that at an auction. That sold for $159.99. I say I spent maybe close to $30 for it. Next we have a pair of Clark's open-toed shoes. These sold for $39.99, and those probably came from a yard sale. There was a pair of Terra and Sky dress pants that sold for $14.99, as well as a pair of denim 24/7 jeans that sold for $16.99. And both of those items came from the Facebook Marketplace garbage bag of clothes. And then she also purchased an Avon lipstick in the shade Tangerine that sold for $9.99. Just side note, a lot of my Avon items have come from auctions. At one point I was purchasing just trays full of Avon items for like $1, $2, that type of thing. That's why I have so much Avon stuff. Next we have a blue gem necklace that sold for $12.99. I think that came out of a shoebox of jewelry I purchased at a yard sale for $5. She also purchased a vintage two-piece baby outfit. This was a really cute, like, patriotic type of outfit that sold for $12.99, and that did come from a yard sale. She purchased an Avon Glazeware lot of 2 in the shade Darling Pink. Again, that came from an auction. That sold for $12.99. There was a blue glass gem bracelet with matching earring set. Again, came from the shoebox jewelry lot. That sold for $12.99. There was a really cute Ruby Road top. This I believe I purchased at a thrift store. I think I might have gotten that on like a dollar day, and that sold for $14.99. She purchased a wool fashion scarf for $5.99, and I do believe that might have come from the Goodwill bins. I've only ever been there a couple of times, and I want to go back so stinking bad. Next we have an Arnell Italy headscarf for $7.99. That might have also came from the bins. I remember I was grabbing a bunch of scarves that day. They were lightweight, so they weren't, you know, adding a whole lot to my pile. There was an Avenue mesh cutout top that sold for $12.99. And that was also from the Facebook Marketplace garbage bag of clothes. And I think that's everything for Jackie. Next item we have is a vintage tin matchstick holder. And it said "Bless This House" on it. I'm pretty sure I paid $1 for this at a auction, and that sold for $25.99. And then the last thing that I have for this cha-ching also went to Sandra. She also won a seashell shaped perfume atomizer for $17.99. And I think that did come from a yard sale. At one point I was collecting perfume atomizers. I don't really collect them anymore, but I still do have quite a few in my collection. Anna, if you're watching, I know you watch some of my videos. I subscribe to her, she subscribed to me. I give her a shout out right now. Anna's Corner here on YouTube. She actually sent me a perfume atomizer one time. She is such a talented artist, you guys. So yeah, I still do have quite a bit of a collection, but I was paring down some of the ones that I had. But that is everything for this cha-ching. Just a couple of things that I have to touch upon. Out of this cha-ching, I had one person who wanted to cancel their order. They purchased something and then decided, I guess, that they didn't want it. But other than that, out of this cha-ching, not really any kind of issues. I have been noticing an uptick again of non-paying bidders, so that's been sucking. But oh my gosh, guys, I had sent out an offer, because I send out offers on items that have watchers every now and again. I sent out an offer, and you can't see, you know, who you're sending an offer to. It just goes out to, you know, the people who are watching the item. So I had someone accept an offer on an item that I sent an offer out on, and they messaged me back asking, and I'm gonna post it up. I'm gonna post it up here. Asking, not their name, not their username, but asking if they would hold the item for a month before they paid. And I just like couldn't believe it. So I looked at their feedbacks, and since you can't leave negatives on eBay, they have all of these positive feedbacks basically saying the same thing, that they never paid for their item, or they said they couldn't pay for a month, or that kind of thing. So it's just so aggravating that eBay doesn't allow you to leave negatives for people in instances like this, where the person has they have no intention of paying. You shouldn't be shopping for something if you can't purchase it outright. You know, we don't offer layaway type of services and that type of thing. And if you really, you know, are hurting money-wise, you should definitely be saving your money for necessities and not luxuries. So it was just kind of mind-blowing, and it just, you know, makes you angry at eBay that they allow this type of stuff where, you know, they're supposed to be rolling out, people who are accepting offers have to pay right away, but yet haven't seen it yet. I still don't have that option to accept, I don't have that option to, you know, have people pay right away when I send out offers. So that hasn't changed yet. And the fact that, you know, you can't leave negatives for people, that they're just like racking up all of these positives, so you don't know until you know, look at their feedbacks. You just think, oh, this person has 16 positive feedbacks, they must be, you know, a great buyer, or that type of thing. So unless you click on that and read the feedbacks that they received, you're not gonna know. So it's one of those it's so aggravating. Why? Like, why would they change stuff like that? Like, is eBay afraid that a negative feedback is gonna hurt somebody's feelings? Like, why did they ever get rid of it? I don't understand the reasonings behind things sometimes that just make absolutely no sense whatsoever. So it's not protecting anybody. It's not protecting us as sellers to not be able to leave negative feedbacks for people who don't pay for their items. It is a waste of time. It will forever be a waste of time, and it's so aggravating that we can't do anything about it. But that is pretty much everything for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You had to let me know what you thought down in the comments, how things are going for you. I feel like my sales are still doing well. I haven't gotten many sales like today by any means, but I'm still, like, my numbers are still like the highest that they've been, so I'm hoping it continues that way. We're going into like a holiday weekend, so I feel like things might slow down a little bit while people are, you know, taking vacations and that type of thing. But hopefully there's still people out there wanting to do a little bit of shopping. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.